C1 SWAC school. Okay, so that's the top 5. Let's go over to Division II. At the Division II level, where they are definitely already in the mix with their conference play right now. Number 1 team, the Virginia State Trojans, 9-3 overall, 3-0 in the CIAA. West Virginia State, who I believe they're out in the Virgin Islands playing that tournament out there, correct? Or is that the Bahamas?
There's actually one going on in the Virgin Islands, one in the Bahamas right now. I don't know which one they are in.
Nice. Must be nice. 9-1 overall, 6-1 in conference play. Kentucky State comes in at number 3, 6-1 overall record, 5-1 in conference play. Lemoyne Owen of the SIAC, 11-3.
The most wins among overall. Any HBCU. No, second most wins.
Then, second most?
Among all HBCUs.
Is there somebody? Okay, so somebody's got. I didn't see it yet, so maybe it's upcoming. Virginia Union, 10-2, 2-1 in conference play, and then Hunt. How about Claflin? That'll be an interesting story. 9-1 overall, 2-1 in conference play. Winston-Salem State with a 10-2 record so far. That's another we'll be paying attention to. A lot of teams right now with some good conference records. Fort Valley State, 5-1 in conference. So that'll be interesting to see how those teams fare as the weeks play out. Let's go to the NAIA level.
And there's the team with the most.
I started that. It didn't have record going. Hello, everyone. We're here with Malachi McCoy, junior forward for the Benedict Tigers. Malachi, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good, man.
All right. So today you guys have SISC rival Clark Atlanta coming in. Talk to us a little bit about what you've been doing to prepare for this game and what are you expecting?
Just coming in, getting some shots up. You know, like last game we struggled with from the free throw line against Tuskegee, and just we came in, put up some extra shots. Looking forward into this game. We did some preparation, went over the scouting reports on who today's matchup is. Just basically looking forward to that.
All right, so you mentioned Tuskegee, and we know you guys had a double-digit lead in the second half, ended up losing that game. Yeah. Talk to us about how that impacted you guys.
I mean, it left a lot of players in distraught, because we actually had the game in our hands. We were up 10, 12, and with 4 minutes left, and then they started, chipping away at the end. Some guys got hot, and we weren't able to, pull away with the win. But moving forward, it actually motivated a few of us to actually come out, the next practice, go harder over defense.
All right. So we're getting ready to get into, again, the crux of your conference season as we get into this spring semester. What are you guys looking forward to for this spring season, and what is the ultimate goal for you all?
Everybody's ultimate goal is to win a championship, right? Not just their conference championship, but I'm talking about nationally. So I think that's still a big goal. It's still early in the season, so a lot can change for us. I still have hope in this team that we can actually do something great.
All right, cool. Anybody you want to say hello to?
Hello to everybody back home in the Bahamas. Thank you guys for all the support, and the Benedict fans, especially the Benedict alum. Love you guys, and I appreciate everything you do.
All right, well, listen, man, you talked about the Bahamas, so that's home for my family too. So go ahead and shout out them other folks that you was repping here a few minutes ago.
Shout out to the men of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. My frat.
Yeah. No problem, man. Thanks, Malachi. We look forward to you having a good game today, man, and we'll see you later.
All right, thank you.
Take care.
People think unusual circumstances means complicated taxes. But for a TurboTax Live expert like me, it just makes things interesting. So, give us everything you've got.
What if I'm a professional gamer with a ton of expenses?
If they help drive views, let's talk deductions.
What if I'm in a state with no income tax, but my survival videos are viewed in 38 countries?
I can help. And if this is a business dinner, save those jerky receipts. An interesting life can mean an even greater refund. You do your thing. We've got your taxes. Intuit TurboTax Live.
Verizon just gave us all a brand new iPhone 13.
We've been customers for years. I thought new phones were for new customers. We got iPhone 13s too, switched to Verizon 2 minutes ago.
Ours were busted, and we still got a shiny new one.
Check it out. So wait, everybody gets the same great deal?
I think that's the point.
iPhone 13 on us. For every customer. Current, new, everyone. On any unlimited plan. Starting at just $35. All on the network more people rely on.
It's like a loot machine. All around town, people trying to get down.
When you work in...
Inside of the Benjamin E. Mays HRC on a Saturday afternoon for college basketball in the SIAC. It's time for basketball inside this outstanding building. A.D. Drew, Charles McNeil, courtside for this one. It is the Benedict Tigers as they host the Clark Atlanta Panthers in college basketball on the men's side. Artis Maddox, fresh off of a 73-69 setback to Tuskegee, brings his 5-7 team in, 3-4 in the SIAC, winners of 3 out of their 7 home games thus far this year to face Alfred Jordan and Clark Atlanta. The Panthers 2-11 overall, 1-6 in conference play. They are 0-7 on the road, losers of 7 of their last 8, including a loss against Kentucky State, 62-52 earlier this week. My broadcast partner, A.D. Drew, is alongside, and A.D., I know you're looking forward to this men's contest.
Always, my brother, always. You know, it's very interesting when these two teams get together. For Clark Atlanta, we've almost got to give them a pass this season, as their coach has come in and has not really had the opportunity to go out and recruit the type of players that he wants for his style. This Clark team is competitive, but they just haven't been able to get over the hump this year. And speaking of getting over the hump, this Benedict Tiger team has been up and down all season long around that 500 Mendoza line, but have not been able to get over that next level, being one of the top teams in the SIAC East like they have been in the past.
Once again, we're going to have a moment of silence in recognition for a couple of coaches that have had losses and their families here at Benedict College.
Amen. Thank you. This time we're going to go into our starting lineups. The introduction of our
It's time for basketball action, as once again we talk about basketball, but the game of life is so much more important, as we wish those families affected our heartfelt condolences at their losses, and recognized here by this crowd of knowledgeable Tiger supporters. Charles McNeil, A.D. Drew, courtside, and A.D., you were in the midst of your thoughts. So I want to make sure you finish those as we prepare for this matchup of Clark Atlanta and Benedict.
No, I'm pretty much completed my thoughts. You know, it's going to be an interesting matchup. Question is, what kind of start will Benedict get off to in this particular game? Clark Atlanta is a team that will play us first. They'll score us first, but then they'll have a big lull offensively. So the question will be whether Benedict can take advantage of that lull that Clark has been known for or will Benedict go into a lull of their own and allow the game to remain competitive during that time of offensive ineptitude by Clark Atlanta?
So coming into the game, Benedict scores it to the tune of 77 points a game. Their opponent 73 points a game. They shoot 46% from the field, nearly 37% from long range. The free throws, they shoot it at 61%, rebounding 39 per game. Assists nearly 15, steals 7, blocks 2, and turnovers 15 points a contest. As for Clark Atlanta, they enter this contest scoring 60 points a game while yielding almost 72 points a contest. They shoot it at 40% from the field. Three-pointers just under 30%. Free throw shooting percentage at 67%, nearly 68. As you look at some of the other numbers, rebounding 34 a game, assists nearly 10 a contest, turn it over 16 times a game. They are pretty good with points off turnovers at 9.2 a contest. Steals, that steal number is at 5.6, so they have a great defensive effort there. And block shots in the contest, 3.5 on the season. Malachi McCoy getting a start in this game. So Malachi getting the start. We featured him in our pregame. The Bahamian can jump out of the building, and this guy is a human highlight film, as we have a lot of outstanding stars, as this is an international recruiting program that Artist Maddox has. He's got Gob Gabriel. I saw his brother performing for the Lakers last night in a victory, actually 2 victories this week for the Lake Show. And so appropriate that he would come to Benedict with the purple and gold uniform. So a lot of talent on the part of this Benedict team as they try to meld it together and prepare themselves for what should be a fun ride. 5-7 for Benedict, 2-11 for Clark Atlanta. Most importantly in the SIAC, 3 wins in conference for the Tigers, 1 victory thus far for the Panthers. This is the 38th all-time meeting between these two teams. 25-12 is the mark in favor of the Tigers. They're 16-3 on their home floor in this one. 24-11 in conference matchups between these two. The Panthers won the first meeting between them and the Tigers. Panthers won it back in 2003, a thriller, 81-79 in the A. And that one went to overtime. Brandon Beidelman on the floor to begin the proceedings. As they work the ball around the perimeter, God Gabriel looking for someone. He finds his teammate down low, and now for the perimeter shot, it's Gabriel. Shot up no good. Malachi McCoy tipped off his fingertips and out of bounds. In the front court with the basketball, that's Jeremiah, and he gets his pocket pick. Beidelman to the basket. Shot no good, and back the other way. Got a lob opportunity on the left side. Instead, he fanned to the left wing. 3 ball in the air, no good. Rebounded by Beidelman. Into inaction, no scoring as yet. 48 seconds in. And there's a reach in on the strong drive to the hole. And there's a foul, and I think it'll be in line out of bounds.
Charles, I got to go take it back to the other end on that clock possession. And this is something that just burns my you-know-what about college basketball these days. We pass up a good opportunity on the drive or the fast break to kick out for a 3 that we missed if we're talking about.
Yeah, we talked about the shooting woes of both teams. So it's not a high percentage shot 3 ball, but it's just the changing face of basketball as we've seen it over the last decade or so, since, you know, before Steph Curry became a well-known name, but certainly since it has become, you know, a mainstay for most teams as they work the perimeter offense, and there's traveling violation.
My last comment on that, look, if you can't hit 70% in practice against air, how do I expect you to hit 35% against competition in a gym with fans? I'm done with that subject. Let's move on to the basketball game.
All right, let's keep it moving. Heavy pressure out on the perimeter. Nearly stolen away as the ball is deflected out of bounds. Good hands out there by Brandon Smith. So B. Smith. Bazango out there along with Beidelman, McCoy, and Gabriel. The 5 on the floor for the Tigers as the jump shot up, no good. Rebound by Gabriel. So good opportunity now for the Tigers to get going on the offense, the Panthers to get going on the offensive end. Clad in their gold uniforms. Step through, moving the lob. Underneath, McCoy. Bazango hits the floor, and now it's 2-on-2 defensively. Dribble penetration, then the handoff. Stolen away by Beidelman in the hands of Bazango. And here we go. It's Gabriel. The ability for that length to play the guard out on the perimeter. And a timeout is called as Artis Maddox did not like what he saw. He's going to call a 30-second timeout. What do you think is on the coach's mind this early in the game?
What we got to do to get a rhythm going, fellas, because we look like garbage out there. We just don't have any flow if we're Benedict. Sometimes you just go ahead and take that early timeout. Hey, for those who don't know the rule, you got to use one in the first half anyway, so you might as well go ahead and use it here so that you can go ahead and try to get your guys into a flow and give them some words of encouragement.
The last matchup between these two, AD, was on February the 7th. Earlier in 2022, the Tigers' Brandon Smith had a 20.6 rebound performance. Malachi McCoy a double-double for Double M, 16 points and 10 rebounds in the 96-78 blowout win over Clark Atlanta. So they feel quite comfortable playing the Panthers in this building.
I feel even more comfortable if I had those two scoring right now.
On the perimeter, Smith knocks it home.
And right on cue.
So Smith out of the timeout. Just what coaches love. Execution and results are positive for the Tigers. They strike first blood. Got it in the paint area. Ball deflected into the corner. Now no look pass cross court. Driving inside, getting in the painted area. Shot up no good. The tip no good. Finally pulled down by Bazango. Beidelman has it, looking right, and goes down underneath. Malachi McCoy killed it and a foul.
That's nothing but weight room and effort right there on that. He went up for the dunk. And there was contact on the play. Let's take a look at it on the replay. Straight pass ahead by Beidelman. Goes up for the dunk attempt, takes the contact. Not able to complete the dunk, but is just able to get the ball released and still concentrate on the make.
Five to nothing score. Tigers out in front. Battle of felines in this one. And nearly a steal by B. Smith. Now the dribble penetration. Get it in the hands of your guard. Let him go inside and score up over everybody. That's Jeremiah. Kai Jeremiah with the field goal, the junior. Smith for three. Yes. Brandon Smith out of Buffalo, New York, senior. 6'3" out of Park School. And St. Thomas Aquinas College to transfer. Explosive move to the hole. Couldn't get it to drop, but he'll go to the line to shoot two.
I don't know if we've got the replay on that one, but if you take a look at number 11, Jacoby Strozier, who tried to take that offensive foul, if he doesn't move at the last moment right there on that play, he may have been able to get that call, but he kind of gave himself at the last minute, which led to the block call.
We've got the media timeout with 15:49 left to play, and the Tigers off to a fantastic start.
T, complaints are part of the job.
Bill says the coffee's weak today.
But since CDW helped us switch to Mac, everyone's happier. Dan from finance likes getting performance without a big price tag. Phoebe digs the power of the Apple M1 chip. Mac is easy to manage, compatible with all our apps, and came pre-configured by CDW. Now we're even getting compliments.
That was Bill again, says he loves his new Mac. He's right about the coffee.
Hey, babe, meet us at the bottom of the trail.
Oh, man. Hey.
Open up. The redesigned Chevy Silverado with a sophisticated high-tech interior.
Open the door.
It's easy to forget it's a truck.
Thanks.
Nice truck. It was. Find new style. Find new roads. Chevrolet.
It's like a loot machine.
AC men's college basketball Saturday afternoon from the Benjamin E. Mays HRC. Charles McNeil and AD Drew with the call of this one. AD, fantastic effort on the part of that last strong drive by the Panthers.
Yeah, I need to correct myself. I said Jacoby Stroge. I should have said that was Brandon Smith with the attempt to take the offensive foul right there.
Horace Wyatt at the line. Wyatt, a junior. Knocked down the first. And he makes a pair. So first free throws of the game on the side of the Panthers work out well as they cut the deficit in half down to 8-4. On the floor for Coach Artis Maddox now as he brings in fresh substitutions. That's Asante Price. Instant offense, the microwave, if you will. He's out on the left side, and now he'll come over in the middle of the triangle offense. And Smith will launch another one. It rattles off Dontavius King inside as well as part of that second unit. And they stay out with a guy who's always a part of the second unit, but whenever you can have him on the floor, it's a benefit. Malachi King. So Brandon Smith and Malachi McCoy are the two starters with three reserves out there, and Price, King, and McCutcheon. McCutcheon playing defensively, working man-on-man with Strozier. Ball tipped. That's G. Warren Douglas. Back to Douglas inside. He lays it up too strong. Price has it. Coach talked about him at the end of our last broadcast after a 25-point performance, back-to-back 25-point performances. He does so much and has done so much in just a few games. Dribble penetration, and there he is, but a strong pass by McCutcheon. He threw it away. So the unforced error by McCutcheon gives the ball back to the Panthers, and they have it on the offensive end. Clad in their black uniforms with the red and white trim. As the jump shot up, no good. Long rebound by the long-armed one. That is Douglas. High ball screen by Douglas allows his teammate to drive the lane. Shot up no good, but loose ball rebound picked up by the Panthers, and in one motion, they put it up and down.
Rock with a little bit of a 2-2-1 press right here. Most people don't realize the 2-2-1 is really not designed to get a steal. It's just designed to slow the team down offensively and force them to begin their offense with a lot less time on the shot clock.
And they accomplish that as the shot clock down to 9 as they drive the lane, and there's a whistle. Tigers will look to take advantage of it at the charity stripe. B. Smith at the line. Second player for the Tigers at the line. So Smith with 7 of his team's 9 points thus far. And Smith makes a pair. Smith on the season, 65% free throw shooter. He's got 8, and he'll have a rest. Is in the pick to spell him is Marshawn West, Mr. Excitement.
And this is normally the time that you see in the games where teams go to their bench on both sides and they try to get some players some minutes, but more importantly, try to get that first unit some rest going into that second media timeout.
McCutcheon off the steal and the bucket. The junior, 6'1", Pompano Beach, Florida. Leroy Hamilton III. And we've got an offensive foul. That one called against Douglas. Douglas, the senior, picking up his first personal foul. 4th against the Panthers, who trailed 12-6. Price rises and fires. Asante Price tickling the twine. The native of Columbia, South Carolina, out of Kenan High School, burying the 3-ball and extend the lead to 9. Step back, 3 in the air. Price with the board. He'll lead the break. Thought about the shot, instead goes to Marshawn, out to McCutcheon for 3.
Against the shot clock.
Another look here. After knocking down the shot, he had an opportunity, AD, to shoot another one, but instead they worked the ball around the horn.
Yeah, what happened was the penetration, the original defense was not good on Marshawn West, which allowed the defense to collapse, which led to the kick out for the wide open 3. Charles, I think even you could have hit that 3 right there. He was so wide open.
Yeah, that's my specialty, actually, the wide open 3. Haven't shot one in about 15 years, but yeah, that used to be my specialty shot there.
There you go. It's a lot easier when nobody's within 15 feet of you.
Well, not in this advanced age, but back in the day, yeah, it was pretty easy.
Now I'm just a free throw king. I do a free throw shooting contest all day.
There you go. Stay in your lane, right?
Exactly.
18-6 is our score. Nearing the 12-minute mark after the timeout called by Alfred Jordan. Thought about the dribble handoff, instead calls his own number and nails it. Big jump shot there by Jalen Williams. So Williams with 5. You've got Wyatt with 2 and Jeremiah with 2. Defensive stop, 1 and done. Can they capitalize on it? Because there's contact underneath, and they're going to call an offensive foul.
We'll take it. A little bit iffy, but we'll take it.
We've got the under 12 timeout, AD. It comes with 11:53 left to play in the opening half. And Benedict has doubled up Clark Atlanta 18-9.
At HBCUs, there's no limit to who we can be. Black and inspired and thriving. Black and magnetic and sing. From the classrooms to the quad, our passion is our purpose. We are leaders and legacy. So when you look at what we accomplish next, you'll know where it started. For who you are and who you want to be, we're here.
I'm a millionaire. I'm not a millionaire. I'm a millionaire.
I'm not a millionaire.
Crypto is complicated, but as a tax expert with crypto experience, you can hand your taxes off to me. You do your thing. We've got your taxes. Intuit. TurboTax Live.
Pizza Hut stuffed crust is the crust that made crust good. Topped and stuffed with over a half pound of cheese. What are you so afraid of? Loving it? Original stuffed crust, just $12.99. Only from Pizza Hut. No one outpizzas the Hut.
Like a loop machine. Back inside the Benjamin E. Mays HRC, Charles McNeil and A.D. Drew with the call of SIAC basketball on the Black College Sports Network. Our talented director alongside Roy Evans, happy to have him in the building as well, and the tremendous staff bringing you all the color pictures of this one as the pageantry of Black College basketball. Dontavius King with the basketball. And as we looked at the numbers from that timeout, the ones that stood out, you've got Benedict on as what a move by Price. 8-2 points off turnover number, and then 8-0 off the bench. Their bench has scored better than 56 points in the last 3 games. That was Asante Price with the foray to the hole. His second field goal gives him 5. Price is just playing at a different level, isn't he? From the wing, side rim with that one. There's Price with the board. Head-to-head pass into the hands of his teammate. That's Tim Moore. Moore will give it off to McCutcheon, and they'll slow down and run the flow. Backdoor feed. Inside is West, and there's a whistle and a foul. Through that first nearly 8 minutes of action, you had Benedict shooting 6 of 10 from the floor compared to Clark Atlanta, just 2 of 10. Clark Atlanta 2 for 2 from the free throw line. Benedict 2 of 3 thus far. 4 of 6 from long range, so everything working well for the Tigers in this early going. West, the sophomore, 6'5", out of Sanford, Florida. And he uses all the rim there to get the kind roll. Got a foul on the floor. Dontavius King with the foul. Gob Gabriel comes off the bench quickly. Malachi McCoy back on the floor as well. So Price remains on the floor, as does Malachi McCoy. As the bank shot 3 is up and good.
I didn't know the banks were open this late on a Saturday there, Charles.
Ajay Flagg with his first field goal. The freshman, Gabriel. Bounce pass in the post to Moore. Outside to Gabriel. He'll drive and then pull up. Strong on the shot attempt. Good box out inside by the Panthers as they've cut the lead down to 9. Drive and kick. 3 ball is good. That's G. Warren Douglas with his first field goal. And back-to-back threes cuts the deficit down to 7. Dribble penetration by Gabriel.
I mean, he's just so long and athletic. He's just so hard to stop.
Talked about his brother playing for the Los Angeles Lakers. Playing with LeBron James. As there's Gabriel. Oh, what a look by Gabriel. Price can't finish. Back the other way. Dribble penetration, ball knocked out of the hands of number 3, Jeremiah, and the Panthers will keep the possession underneath their own.
Now, you know the coach will be supposed to come out now, right, Charles? I don't care about the spectacular. I don't care about that dunk. I'll vote them 2 points right there.
Well, he's got it in his bag. He could have done it as he gets the seal to make up for that missed dunk. Now let's see what he does with it. There's the lob. Oh, behind Malachi McCoy. Moore gets his pocket pick. In the front court. They go cross court. Gorgeous look. Wide open for 3. Misses everything.
Let's see if we can come down and make a basketball play instead of a spectacular play on this possession.
Dribble and a kick. Price launches. Back iron on the shot attempt, so Price is cooled off.
But I'm happy with that. We made the basketball play right there. Dribble drive penetration. Kick out for the 3. Despite the miss, we made the simple, basic play. Well, look at this backdoor cut right here.
Moore misses from close range. Left wing, wide open look. Good closeout that time on the part of number 5, Jalen Williams. 23-14, nearing the 8-minute mark. Driving a kick to the left wing corner. Open look, and he knocks it home. Jalen Williams, second made 3. He's got 8 in the game. That's their 4th made 3 in the first half. Gabriel. McCoy. Up top is Moore. He's going to pull a string on it and knock it home. I don't think the fans thought he had it in his bag, but the junior says, I got this. I mentioned their 4 made. Well, Benedict has 5 made 3s. And you talked about your love of the three-point game a little earlier. Well, they're putting it on display here in the first half. Shot clock winding down. Shot attempt goes up. And last touch by the Panthers. It'll be Tigers basketball when we return. 6:58 left to play. We're in the opening half. And it is the Tigers out in front by 9.
People think unusual circumstances means complicated taxes. But for a TurboTax Live expert like me, it just makes things interesting. So, give us everything you've got.
What if I'm a professional gamer with a ton of expenses?
If they help drive views, let's talk deductions.
What if I'm in a state with no income tax, but my survival videos are viewed in 38 countries?
I can help. And if this is a business dinner, save those jerky receipts. An interesting life can mean an even greater refund. You do your thing. We've got your taxes. Intuit TurboTax Live.
Verizon just gave us all a brand new iPhone 13.
We've been customers for years. I thought new phones were for new customers. We got iPhone 13s too, switched to Verizon 2 minutes ago.
Ours were busted, and we still got a shiny new one.
Check it out. So wait, everybody gets the same great deal?
I think that's the point.
iPhone 13 on us for every customer. Current, new, everyone. On any unlimited plan, starting at just $35. All on the network more people rely on.
It's like a loot machine.
I'll come back and talk to you a little bit about back inside the Benjamin E. Mays HRC, Charles McNeil and A.D. Drew, SIAC men's college basketball Saturday afternoon. And A.D., this bench situation is real here in Tigerland as they have scored a bunch of points off the pine.
Yeah, I mean, when you take a look at it, when you have players that go hard for 2-3 minutes and can score like this is going to be a tough team to beat if they can ever get everything figured out and put it all together.
Perimeter jump shot put up there, no good by Smith, and back the other way they come. Clark Atlanta with the basketball, trailing by 9. Up and under, nothing available. Bounce pass to a deeper position, and he misses the layup. Rebounded by Double M. In the front court we go. Working the ball around the horn for an open look for Gabriel. Manchester, New Hampshire, the Bradford Christian Academy is where he did his work in high school. Gob Gabriel. Lob over the top. Malachi McCoy had 3 players around him. Keeps it somehow over to Gabriel. They'll work it around the horn. There's Moore. He likes it from out there. A little strong in that attempt, and a loose ball rebound pulled down by the Panthers. That was Leroy Hamilton III, freshman, as he was fouled by Gabriel. 4th team foul, first for Gabriel. There's now Lorenzo Gatling will check in. Dribble handoff. Jeremiah finding his teammate Williams, who finds the big guy underneath. That's Douglas. Oh, correction. Headsmith, number 21, not 20. Demetrius with the field goal. That's his first bucket. He's a senior. So Coach Artis Maddox with a bevy of guys that can come off the bench. Tim Moore goes out. And number 23 comes in to spell him. That is Felix Gu. Gob Gabriel with the rejection and a delayed call by the official. I think that may go against Gabriel. Let's find out. Double M picking up the personal. Turning the corner, driving hard to the basket. Gabriel with the board. McCoy didn't see it coming, somehow still made the catch, then tried to throw it away and nearly, literally threw it away. That's Gatling who had the basketball for the hands of Brandon Smith. Smith on the drive, layup is good and a foul.
Great dribble drive right there. And once again, we talked about concentrating on the make, being able to take the contact and make the layup after the contact. Something you should be doing in practice, working on playing through the contact.
So Brandon Smith with the free throw, give him 11 of his team's 32 points here in the opening half. .13 advantage. Largest lead for Benedict. Perimeter jump shot is knocked home. That is Douglas again. So Douglas with a pair of 3 balls, give him 6. 8 for the leader for them is Jalen Williams. The 6'5" Price returns to the lineup. Got to use a bounce pass on that one, right, Coach?
Yes, sir. Got to use that bounce pass or throw the ball the other direction where there's not a defender in the way.
12:39 left.
But even still, that's a pass that he should have caught, though. That was just more of a lack of concentration on figured out what he was getting ready to do with the ball before he actually had possession of the ball.
So the clock is having more difficulties, and I think we're going to take a timeout with them. Let's take it right now. With 3:09 left to play, there's a clock issue, and I think the official's going to come over and tell us about it. So 3:09 or 3:09 remaining. The score in this contest is 32-21. This is continuing coverage of SIAC men's college basketball on the Black College Sports Network.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
That spin class was brutal. Well, you can try using the Buick's massaging seat. Ooh, yeah, that's nice.
Can I use Apple CarPlay to put some music?
The all-new Buick Envision, an SUV built around you, all of you.
Your leading scorers in the contest for Benedict, Brandon Smith, number 11, has 11 points. He also has 1 rebound and 1 assist through the first nearly 17 minutes of action. On the other side, Gabriel playing strong defense, but Jalen Williams delivering offensively for Clark Atlanta. He has 8 points and 2 rebounds. Speaking of Gabriel, he has 5 points, as does Asante Price. As those are the guys. And then let me add Calvin McCutcheon in there as well with 5 to help offset the Brandon Smith 11-point performance and help their team to a 11-point lead. Panthers following the timeout, pulling up from the corner. Rattles out, no good. McCoy with the board, and Brandon Beitelman has the ball in the front court. Off to Asante Price, rises and fires. Rattles off, no good. Malachi McCoy can't get it. Panthers have it offensively. So Douglas, 2-point field goal this time. 32-23, 9-point lead. Brandon Smith. Beitelman. Fall away. Price. As he makes his way into the Panthers bench area. And now on the wing, driving. Douglas with the right hand.
Yeah, just stay out the way of that one. You don't even want to get involved in that mess.
So Douglas with a foray to the hole. Strong one-handed play with the right hand. So he's a versatile big that you'd love to have in your lineup, right, Coach?
Yeah, exactly. You know, when you got bigs who can play like a guard but still post like the traditional big, that's something that you just covered as a coach in today's basketball game. A great dribble drive right here on this replay right here. That was a foul from earlier on that three-point play opportunity that we had.
Yeah, Brandon Smith with the strong drive to the hole. Part of his run for his squad and helping them to a solid start. 11 points to lead all scores. 2:06 left to play. 7-point game. Even though it looks like it's been totally dominant by the Tigers, the Panthers are keeping it close. High ball screen, back door. Price thought about it. Beidelman has not been looking for the shot often, but when he does, he can deliver. 2-point field goal for the junior.
Great job by Beidelman being able to get the ball, get right to that free throw line where it's just so many players are so comfortable shooting it from right there.
Jeremiah, dribble handoff to Williams. Puts it in the hands of Wyatt. Back it goes to Jeremiah. And there's a bump and a foul.
It's going to be his first. Team 7. Team 6.
There's a deflection, but picked up by the Tigers. Beidelman look left, and now he'll bring it into the front court himself. Working against the long arms of the law out there. That's Strozier.
But
Price.
Game right there, just not able to take advantage of it.
Shot clock at 10. Offensive foul.
Foul committed by number 11, Brandon Smith. That's his second. Team 7.
So Brandon Smith with that great first half will have to have a rest. Probably for the remainder of this half. Only 44 seconds remaining. There's a steal by Price. Beidelman slowly in the front court. Shot clock is off, even though it may see it on your screen. It's actually off. There's more time on the, or less time on the game clock than the shot clock as they finally turn it off, and there's a loose ball picked up to the right side. Needing to get a bucket before the half, and they do. That's Wyatt. It's halftime. Your halftime score in favor of the Benedict Tigers as they lead by 7, 34-27. What are your thoughts at the end of this first half?
Well, for Benedict, they came out with a flurry, and then it's like they hit a lull that allowed Clark to get back in this game. You know, we talked about that prior to the game, that both these teams like to score in spurts. And the question was whether they were going to go into those lulls at the same time, or was one team going to be able to answer the other team while the other was in a lull? Well, looks like Clark answered that with the great run the last half of the first half.
So coming up at the half, we've got another exciting halftime show coming your way. Dr. Cavell's inside the HBCU Sports Lab. And she has now Sonia, once again, we'll talk with Danita Rogers from Langston. That and a whole lot more highlights and insights coming your way in just a few moments. This is the halftime show right around the corner for the SIAC Game of the Week. As we close out our week's coverage, HBCU League Pass and BCSN.
I did want to talk a little bit about bowls, and people have asked questions about the Celebration Bowl in terms of the payout. What does that look like? Just to give you updates there, you're talking about $1.2 million payout in terms of the bowls that go to the conference. A percentage of that goes to the institution, depending on the split. 75-25 for the SWAC, 70-30 in terms of the MEAC, or that was the last percentage breakdown in terms of what that looks like. But I want to do a little comparison so you get a chance of what does that look like. Obviously, you have the major bowls, and you've seen what they do as they off the chart in terms of the New Year's Six, $14 million, significant type of money. But you see how long they've been in the business for the Rose Bowl, going back 100 years in terms of what they do there and how they're tied into the CFP and how they have really engulfed all that money. But if you look at some of the other bowls out there, there was an article that talked about the Quick Lane Bowl, really focusing on New Mexico State, which it was encouraging fans to purchase tickets. And it wasn't so much about purchasing tickets. Obviously, you want to support your team. But a lot of it would maybe be the distance that a lot of fans wouldn't necessarily travel for a 6-6 Aggies team that was playing a 6-6 Bowling Green Falcons team, if you would, coming out of the MAC all the way in Detroit. So they were asking fans to support the team that did make a bowl and purchase tickets so they could donate them to Detroit area youth. That's a great thing for the youth to get a chance to get out and see some college football. But I wanted to get into some of the money. When you talk about this particular matchup, when you see what was going on here, three things to know about the Bowling Green is they entering into at that time the Quick Lane Bowl, which was this past week, if you would, a week ago, I should say. The university closed travel cost them $400,000 travel to Detroit. When you talk about the Celebration Bowl, one thing is unique. You heard last year they got the deal with Delta, actually flew the teams in there to Atlanta, and that was at no cost to the teams. So you didn't have to worry about that type of cost where you see it doing $400K for Detroit. And so some interesting things there when you think about it. But this is really, it was interesting when I seen this, when you talk about these payouts. Because a lot of folks talk about $1 million, $2, $3 million payouts for these bowls. One thing people don't realize, a lot of times these bowls have a bigger number in there, but they'll charge you, as you see, for your travel, your hotel stay, food and things of that nature while you're in there. They'll also charge you for the band in terms of the band and who you bring in there. They'll charge you a ticket price for the band members in the stand. And so the payout for the Quick Lane Bowl was $150K. Yeah, let me say that again. The payout for that bowl game was $150K, and which is why you see the fact that they were encouraging the fans to buy tickets, because this is where it can get a little benefit to the team. New Mexico State athletic director was quoted saying that the university will retain 100% of the revenue from the first 2,000 tickets it sells, 50% of the next 2,000 tickets, which by New Mexico wants its fan base to purchase all of these tickets, because if they did, they could recoup $420K in terms of what that means. So just to give you some indications of what's out there and why you really need to look at the contracts, or at least get some more information of some generalities of these various bowl games to get an understanding of what that looks like. So just on the surface, I'll go to you, Charles. What are your thoughts in terms of what that looks like when you see, especially some of these small bowls, in terms of what they bring to the table when you compare? Because a lot of folks will instantly go to the larger bowl games and say, hey, they're paying out this. And just so one of the things we always like to talk about only is the business side. So you see some of the numbers that go out there and get an understanding what that looks like. What are your thoughts?
Tremendously enlightening to really find out some of the ancillary costs. I think that those are things that you almost oftentimes take for granted, Dr. Gill, that you know, those the charging for the band and things of that nature. So you never sort of calculate those into what goes into the bigger picture. But it's fascinating to see the numbers finally, you know, out there for all of us to really grasp and understand, you know, what a jewel that you have within the Celebration Bowl, I think.
Yeah, and you see the numbers continue to move up, which always helps both in terms of attendance and the ratings, which is more powerful. So when you sit back in the table, it gives you a chance to continue to push for bigger payouts. Mike, what are your thoughts in terms of just getting a different framework of the bowl landscape, how varied it can be at times.
Well, yeah, you often wonder, you look at all of the activities that take place, and then you look at, who's transporting the group here, who's transporting the group here, who's paying for this dinner, who's providing gift baskets for the team. Those are all costs that are buried underneath the umbrella of the bowl costs. So, and you take that into consideration, and then you wonder, does the bowl game have the sustainability of growth and volume over the course of 3 to 5 years to kind of, eat a lot of those ancillary costs down, such as transportation costs, hotel costs, dining costs, their awards costs, or whatever. I think in some bowls, some of the bigger bowls, I think some of the players get gifts or whatever. You wonder where that's covered, what pot that's covered in. So you get all those little, I guess, trinkets into that big basket of bowl costs. And then it gives you a different insight on, is this a viable bowl game? And like CB said, all that in consideration, it gives you more of an appreciation for not only the performance of the Celebration Bowl, but the growth that you've seen over the last 5-6 years.
Curious, when people work in sports, I always want to know, how did your love for sports begin?
That is a fantastic question.
Thank you.
I'm not sure how I can pinpoint when the bug bit me, but I always talk about, in our house growing up, there was always a black and white picture of my mom's basketball team. And so I grew up knowing that she started as a freshman. She was also part of integrating a predominantly white school. And so she would tell me about some of the struggles that were involved with that. And so I think that always I kind of wanted to make her proud, and I always felt like the bar, she never said that, but I always felt like the bar was going to be starting as a freshman and doing those other things. Although I played softball in high school as well, basketball was my first love. And ironically, one of those things, when you've looked at something for so long, I did start as a freshman. And one of my most favorite years of all in sports was that freshman year when I was allowed to play on the junior high team and the high school team. I grew up in a small Class B school, and so absolutely loved that year where I was playing basketball 5 to 6 days a week.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, and like you said, you just wanted to make her proud, even though she never said it, but you was trying to follow her footsteps, and that's pretty cool. So as I mentioned earlier, you're a Hall of Famer from your alma mater, with such honors as Player of the Week, OIC Scholar Athlete, OIC and District 9 All-Conference teams, and Northwestern Ranger Queen. What amazing accomplishments. How, with basketball classes, possibly campaigning for Ranger Queen, how were you able to juggle all this and keep your GPA up?
Well, it's one of those things that I absolutely loved college, and some of my friends from the Baptist Student Union, they were my sponsoring group for Ranger Queen. Okay. They talked me into it, and ironically, it's the first time that I learned that other people other people can see some things in yourself that you may not see at the time. Right. I never ever considered myself Queen material at all, and I wouldn't have had the nerve to do it had some of my friends were like, "Hey, we'll help you with the posters. We'll help you. We'll back you. You can do this. Everybody knows you," but they didn't know me in that realm. And so I don't know. That was a very eye-opening and life-changing time for me as well. So to be voted in by my peers at a PWI meant a whole lot to me. Yeah. So yeah, but I always saw myself just as a jock, an athlete, a scholar. I did see those things as me, but a queen, I never saw that.
Well, you're a queen, sister. That's for sure. You are amazing. Just, researching and reading your bio, I was like, wow, she is amazing. And that's why I'm so excited that you're our very first guest. AD Rogers, you were inducted in the Hall of Fame in Langston in 1998. I believe 9 years after you graduated, or 8 or 9 years. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. How was that moment for you to be honored in that way?
No one really prepares you. It's like when you're excited about it, and I was honored. My family was there to see me inducted, but I was not prepared for the rush of memories as you're getting ready to thank those that have played a part in your induction. I just saw the hours and hours outside playing on a grass court, the excitement when my dad built my first goal. And it was big because he actually had a welder. I had the metal pole, the everything, still had a grass court. But I mean, I looked at all the hours that were spent in the backyard and that had brought me to that point. The sacrifices that my mom and dad had made. We weren't rich by any means. My mom was a school teacher. And, all of that was full circle. And I just felt grateful to God that he allowed me to experience that moment.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, AD Rogers, you served 4 years as an athletic director for women's sports.
Back inside the Benjamin E. Mays HRC. That was just a snippet of some of the things you can expect right here on the Black College Sports Network. As we've got the insights into the HBCU world like no other. Thanks to our friends at HBCU League Pass Plus and our subscribers as well for tuning in. Happy to have you guys with us. Our halftime score is Benedict with a 37-27 lead. I'm Charles McNeil. AD Drew is alongside as we check out some of the highlights from the first half. And AD, what is it that both teams have to do in the second half to hold on and or come from behind to get a victory?
Number one, need to see a little more defense. Both teams shooting over 40%. But 42.3 for Clark Atlanta, 42.9 for Benedict. It's a decent percentage, but as a defensive coach, you want to see your opponent shoot in the 30s while you're shooting closer to 50%. So both teams right there, that's why you don't have as much separation in this game right now, as both teams are shooting 42%. Benedict 12 of 28 from the field, Clark Atlanta 11 of 26. The difference is at the free throw line and from beyond the arc. Benedict 4 of 6 from the charity stripe compared to 2 of 2 for Clark Atlanta, but behind the arc, Benedict 6 of 13, 46% behind the arc versus 3 of 7. 3 of 7 is a good percentage, except when your opponent has hit twice as many as you have, 46% compared to 42.9%.
There you have it, the numbers that matter to you as we prepare for the start of the second half. They have 40 seconds on the clock as we check out a couple more highlights as we close things down. Your leading scorers in this game, Brandon Smith with 2 fouls. He had to sit out the last minute or so of that opening half. He had 11 on 3 of 5 shooting from the floor, 3 of 3 from the free throw line, 2 of 4 from long range. He also had 1 rebound and 1 assist in the opening 12 minutes of 30 seconds that he played in that first stanza. As for Clark Atlanta, Jalen Williams with 8 points and G. Warren Douglas also kicking in with 8. Both of them had 3 boards, and each of them turned the ball over 1 time. So we're all set and ready to go. Points off turnovers. Benedict with a 10-2 advantage there. And it's the Panthers with the opening possession. And before we can get underway,
clock issues again.
Official stops things as he comes over to take a look. And the clock has gone haywire. It's currently set with 19 minutes and 57 seconds is where they said it. So they said all that happened in 3 seconds. As they had the option of coming over and talking to our talented director, Roy, but instead they lean into their own understanding. There's a steal. Chasing it down is Smith. He tries to keep it alive, but it was out of bounds on the end line.
You know, with all these clock issues, Charles, I wonder if they got one of those old PE clocks that, you know, you put on the table, the little black clock that you used to put on the table for PE class. I wonder if somebody got one of those in the back somewhere.
Well, I mean, you know how they do it in the NFL. The clock is kept on the field. Go ahead and keep the officials with the clock, and they just fill us in every so often where we are.
Exactly. Hey, look, everybody got a smartwatch nowadays. Somebody can keep it on their smartwatch.
Let's see, the officials having a conference. They'll figure everything out. Gives us an opportunity to tell you what's up next for both teams. For Clark Atlanta, they will stay right here in Columbia to face Allen University on Monday. For Benedict, the chances that they will put a end to this one-game losing streak here today and then possibly get a win streak going as they begin a 4-game homestand or close out their 4-game homestand against Morehouse. That game taking place on Monday, a single game at 7:30 p.m. So the women from Benedict travel to Payne College for a 5:30 affair, single game that area. And then on the other side, you've got the Benedict men at home to the men of Morehouse. That game starts at 7:30 this Monday night.
As you notice, the referee right there. All right, young fella, that's too far for me, and I'm not jumping up there. You're going to have to go get that ball for me.
Gob Gabriel turned it over. Underneath. Shot attempt no good. Malachi McCoy held his ground. Beidelman in the front court, hands it off to Gabriel, back to Beidelman. He waited for the defender to catch up, and now he'll back out and set up the offense. Dribble drive by Beidelman to the paint. Shot comes up short. Loose ball rebound picked up by Beidelman. Left side. Gabriel for 3. Gabriel with the huge free jump shot there, knocking it down. The three-point attempt, and now Gabriel racing away. Can he get to the bucket? He can. Gob Gabriel.
That's the luckiest steal and 2 points that you'll ever get as a basketball player. As Strozier just lost the ball right there in front of Gabriel.
So Gabriel, beginning the second half auspiciously with 5 quick points. He had 5 in the first half. Give him 10. And that's rejected.
Shot clock violation is the call right there. And this time going into this first media timeout, it's going to set the tone for the second half of this ball game, Charles. And it looks like, thus far, advantage Benedict.
Brandon Smith, outside Gabriel, pump. Gabriel for the 2-point attempt, too strong. Malachi McCoy underneath, McCoy.
Travel. Yeah, you can see that from here, trying to get into the lane, kind of shuffle those feet before he was able to gather himself. Offensive side. You know, Charles, with that too high post player, we like to call it the horn set. We usually see one of the two post players roll to the basket on that, excuse me, not a guard or a forward coming through to catch the ball in the paint. So that was a very interesting design of a common set that we see in college basketball.
So substitutions off the bench for Coach Artis Maddox. Marshawn West coming back in. West with the basketball. Asante Price. That rattles out. There's West over the top for the loose ball, kept it alive, and taken out of there by the Panthers. There's a lob. Can't control it. And back the other way. West. Dribble handoff. Beidelman. Yo-yo dribble. Steps inside. Gets it down low to Price. He'll swing it around the horn. Gabriel's wide open. Gabriel now down low to Malachi. Double M. Collabo. From the Berry Islands in the Bahamas, Malachi McCoy for 2.
Dangerously close to a 10 count right there.
And we got a timeout on the floor. Coach Jordan calling the TO with 16:25 left in regulation, a 14-point advantage for the Tigers. We'll keep it right here.
They stretched it to immediate, y'all. So
okay, well, they just stretched it out to a media timeout, so let's go ahead and take it with them. 14-point advantage for the Benedict Tigers. Stay with us, everyone.
When you work in IT, complaints are part of the job.
Bill says the coffee's weak today.
But since CDW helped us switch to Mac, everyone's happier. Dan from finance likes getting performance without a big price tag. Phoebe digs the power of the Apple M1 chip. Mac is easy to manage, compatible with all our apps, and came pre-configured by CDW. Now we're even getting compliments.
That was Bill again, says he loves his new Mac. He's right about the coffee.
Hey, babe, meet us at the bottom of the trail.
Oh, man. Hey.
Open up. The redesigned Chevy Silverado with a sophisticated high-tech interior.
Open the door.
It's easy to forget it's a truck.
Thanks.
Nice truck. It was. Find new style. Find new roads. Chevrolet.
It's like a loot machine. All around town, people trying to get down.
At HBCU.
SIAC men's college basketball, Saturday afternoon, Columbia, South Carolina. Benedict and the Tigers out by 14, 41-27. The Panthers with the basketball. Double teaming. Beidelman trying to chase him down from behind.
that's a great heads off of that set right there.
And that's a defensive stand. Shot clock violation. They held the ball too long. And the Tigers will take over.
I attribute that to lack of communication in the huddle, not realizing that you only had like 12 seconds on the shot clock coming out of that timeout. You put that one on both the coaches and the players on that one.
Malachi McCoy. So McCoy good there. And now a pilfer. Gob Gabriel with the jump stop. Gob Gabriel running free.
That would be an 11-0 run by our Tigers to open up the second half.
We got a bump. Foul committed. Brandon Smith with 11. Gob Gabriel with 12. The leading scorers for the Tigers. As we get a chance to look at it on the replay. What'd you think?
Hey, great job there in the open court by Brandon Beidelman, realizing that he had a trailer and just hitting the man in stride. Gob Gabriel in stride, so all he had to do was just finish. Hey, Charles, while we got a moment here, just wanted to point out something about a Benedict alum coach at Biles. That would be Mr. Fred Watson, who's going for a career milestone victory in the basketball game today at Lane. A victory today by Fred Watson will be career number 400 for him. And he got the first 320 some odd of those right here at Benedict College.
Wow. Congratulations in advance.
Also, along with that, right now, Fred Watson is number 2 among active HBCU coaches among victories. As far as HBCU coaches, victories at an HBCU.
Nicely done. 45-27 is our count. The Panthers trailing in this one. Count the basket and a foul. Driving to the hole, Jalen Williams.
Count the basket. I want to give Jerron Douglas a little bit of credit right there. Jerron Douglas was right there at the rim getting ready to dunk the follow through. Heard the whistle and alertly pulled his hand back so that we did not have offensive basket interference to allow the and one opportunity to finally break the 11-0 run here by Benedict.
Brandon Beidelman racing in the front court, puts in the hands of Price. Panthers. And the defender was kind of cloaking behind, and now he goes to the bucket. Good defensive stand. His follow-up, his teammate. Is that not an up and down? I guess not. Strozier with the basket. His first field goal. Malachi McCoy can't make it work in there. Keeps it alive, though, and McCoy with the steal, and he just hands it off.
Just got away with a travel. He just got away with a travel.
Marshawn West. Beidelman. Left corner, Asante Price. Price comes up top. Beidelman, extra pass. West, the left-hander, travels. So West is not in the flow. No, West isn't in the flow today. Coach Maddox very accommodating and continuing to push his players to be the best they can be. Leaves West on the floor. We're near the 14-minute mark. That's Douglas. Pull-up jump shot is up and knocked home by Horace Wyatt. Horace Wyatt, a junior. And now pass underneath. It's another guy that really hasn't gotten off. Dontavius King.
That's his fourth. Team second at the line shooting 2.
So Dontavius King at the line. First one is nothing but the bottom.
Not a lot of free throws in this game. You know, combined between the two teams, that is only the 10th free throw attempt.
That is King's first point of the game. So Dontavius King, along with Marshawn West, not getting heavy minutes, but not providing the offense we're used to. And in spite of that, the Tigers are still up by 13. Malachi McCoy with the loose ball off the block. Wide open. West for three. Long rebound. Here comes Wyatt. Wyatt with a man on his left. He throws it that way. Run down in the corner. Now the lob over the top, and they score.
Although they got the bucket, I think that pass should have gone off to his right. Didn't quite see who that was trailing on his right, but the player who was trailing on his right, I believe that was Smith, would have been the better play right there.
Price tried to drive and then kick out to King. There's a whistle on the draw. Tim Moore will come in for Malachi McCoy. So Beidelman on the floor with West, Moore, Price, and King. Price pulling up. Rebounded by King. King trying to get position inside. He gets the kind roll. So Dontavius King, who hit the free throw, 1 of 2 the last time in, now with the first field goal. He's got 3. Still 12 minutes left in this game. Backdoor feed deflected and taken back by the Panthers. Underneath, easy layup. Score that one to Jalen Williams. So Williams with 12. Inside of 12 minutes left. Moore outside Beidelman. Launching the set shot. No. Followed up on the weak side. Jumper in the air. No. Here come the Panthers. Need this one. Long on the rebound. Moore has it. Beidelman to Price. Wide open. Price. Moore asking for it. And Price travel.
Looks like he just lost the handle on that ball when he went to go make the initial pass.
Is it hard to keep your concentration in a situation like that when you're, I mean, it's an 11-point game. It's not a huge lead, but is it difficult, do you think, for players to keep their concentration just back after the break?
If you got a problem keeping your concentration in a ball game like this, then you should be playing in the SIAC. How about that? Just a mental faux pas.
I guess I asked for it. 11:25. 11:25 left. We got 11-point game. Media timeout. We'll be back in just a moment.
Let's make sure we make our way back here this Monday. Tigers in action.
The Black College Sports Network, bringing you the best of college basketball. The SIAC lives here. Charles McNeil, A.D. Drew with the call of this one. The Benedict Tigers leading by a score of 48-37. And Clark Atlanta with 2 victories on the season, 11 setbacks. We talked about their loss to Kentucky State earlier this week, 62-52. Well, their 2 wins this season happened in their opener versus Carolina Christian, 88-68. And on Monday versus Central State, they picked up a victory to open up the week and the new year as well, 80-74.
Great pressure right there.
On the left wing, 3 balls, an air ball, and kicked out of bounds off the big right foot of number 15, Williams Bay.
Yeah. Hey, Charles, I want to bring something out to all of our listeners. You know, as dominant as the SIAC East has been in the past, you look at the SIAC West, every team in the West is 500 or above in conference, except for Lane, who sits at 3 and 4. As during the crossover time, the West dominated the East.
Wow, the tide has turned, huh?
Yes, it has. Yes, it has. As Fort Valley and Savannah are the only two teams that sit above 500 on the east side of the conference.
So
both of them come in today at 5-2.
So to what do you attribute that?
It's just one of those things. It's just a shift in power. It's cyclical. It goes like that. And unfortunately, East versus West will not happen again until the tournament. So it's just something that you want to put a pin in between now and the tournament, the last week of February / first week of March, as each team will cross over again in Savannah, Georgia, beginning the last Saturday in February.
So a pair of free throws for Dontavius King. He's now 3 of 4 on the afternoon from the line. And the lead is up to 13. Cross-court pass leads to a drive toward the basket. And although Strozier wasn't able to score, he drew contact and will go to the line to shoot 2.
Yeah, good drive there by Strozier, good hard drive. Knew he was going to get some contact. There's just nothing that you could do on that one.
Strozier having a difficult day shooting the basketball thus far. 1 of 6 from the floor, 0 of 1 for three-point land. First attempts at the line for Strozier.
But that's what you need. You just need to see the ball go in the basket, for a score. Free throws are sometimes the engine that gets you going. As he gets the kind of roll right there.
Now pressure after the made free throws. Marshawn West outside. McCutcheon for 3. Back the other way. 4-on-1 break. Lob was available and they took advantage of it.
I believe that's the first lob that we've actually seen completed all day. Oh my God!
Say it with your chest, Tim Moore. That got folks a little excited inside the HRC.
Yes, it did. Got me excited in my seat, definitely.
Perimeter jump shot no good. Malachi McCoy ready to get into the action as West slowly into the front court to McCutcheon. Brandon Smith back on the floor as McCutcheon looks at the shot clock. It's at 15. Now he crosses over, gets inside, gives it off to Moore. Moore drives, turns, faces. And over the back comes McCoy to commit the foul.
I think that's one the referee could have swallowed his whistle on. There was no way McCoy was going to get the rebound right there. There was 3 Panthers right there. That's what we like to call it. The officials were gamers interrupters.
Contact inside. Foul against the Tigers, Marshawn West, as he picks up his first personal foul. Team's 5th. Inside of 9 minutes left to play in regulation. Panthers still trailing in this one by 11, but only for a moment as they knock down the jump shot. G. Warren Douglas. 3 field goals here in the second half. He's got 14.
This is the first time we've been under double digits in the second half since Benedict went on that big run to open up the second half. Is this a turning point in the game, Charles?
Tim Moore underneath. Malachi McCoy, offensive foul.
I'll ask that question once again. Have we reached a potential turning point in the game?
Well, if it is, we've seen it happen before earlier this week. 14-point advantage. 12-point advantage in the first half, 14-point advantage in the second half, and got walked down were the Tigers. And they're lost to Tuskegee.
Yes, I watched that game, and great job on the call with that particular game, Charles. And, you know, I almost turned that game off, and I stepped away and came back, and I'm like, oh, we got a ball game now. I'm going to have to sit here and watch it. Goes to show you, there are two sports which you always have a run. Slow pitch softball and college basketball. Don't ask me where I got that from.
Had never heard that comparison.
It's a truism. Put that one in your pocket for later.
All right, I got it. I got it. Warren Douglas at the line. He made the first, missed the second one. Leading his team in scoring with 15. Vitalman got bumped, and there's a steal. Wyatt, and they find Douglas for three. Loose ball rebound, and taken away by the Tigers, but then they left it on the floor. Oh. Over the back call while he was on the floor. West goes down hard. As he will check out, and Moore will come in to spell him. So West is out of the lineup. Moore in for him. Hedspeth at the line. He's a senior. Front end of the one-on-one is missed. We've got a officials timeout.
Yeah, they should have went to a media
timeout
before the free throws.
For the media timeout, so yes. So our referee and coach, always on the spot with the right calls, is a timeout on the floor. 7:46 left, and Benedict clinging to an 8-point lead.
At HBCUs, there's no limit to who we can be. Black and inspired and thriving. Black and magnetic and sing. From the classrooms to the quad, our passion is our purpose. We are leaders and legacy. So when you look at what we accomplish next, you'll know where it started. For who you are and who you want to be, we're here.
I'm a millionaire. I'm not a millionaire. I'm a millionaire. I'm not a millionaire.
Crypto is complicated, but as a tax expert with crypto experience, you can hand your taxes off to me. You do your thing. We've got your taxes. Intuit. TurboTax Live.
Pizza Hut's stuffed crust is the crust that made crust good. Topped and stuffed with over a half-pound of cheese. What are you so afraid of? Loving it? Original stuffed crust, just $12.99. Only from Pizza Hut. No one outpizzas the Hut.
Back inside the Benjamin E. Mays HRC following the timeout. Coach Maddox and Coach Jordan working their teams through their strategies as we head down to the home stretch, and Coach Jordan still having fun with one of the officials, giving him the business as he comes over with a big smile on his face. But Coach Jay taking the time to let him know exactly what he thought about that last call. 8-point game. Vitalman with the basketball. Him and Moore in the backcourt. Gabriel in the middle. They work left side. Asante Price is long on that shot attempt. Wide open look for the former Kenan High School star right here in Columbia. Jalen Williams. And there's a steal by Price. No, stolen right back by Wyatt. Horace Wyatt, left side to his teammate. Strozier operating against his opposite number, and they hand it off. Shot attempt up and no good off the right hand of Hedspeth. So they've got 3 bigs out there. Let's see what they can get done. Douglas, Hedspeth, and Wyatt, all part of their front court with a pair of guards. Pulling up, 3-ball, front iron, no good. Here comes Wyatt. He pushed off, and now he's got a head of steam. Inside of 7 minutes left as they'll reset the offense. Strozier gets it down low. Lefty jump hook is up and down.
That was sweet right there.
Douglas has shown a variety, he's got a variety of moves in his bag as he showcased the 3-ball and some spin moves, the alley-oop dunk. He's done it all.
And I haven't noticed, is he naturally left-handed or was that just a shot with his offhand?
I haven't really been able to observe that either. He's used both, yeah. He's ambidextrous for sure.
Yeah. But a lot of time, the reason I ask that, a lot of time when players get down there in the post, you know, says 80% of the people that you face are right-handed. People forget that they're going to go to the left side when you have a left-handed player, just naturally. And that's why left-handed players look so good down in the post. I love having to be a lefty on my squad.
Brandon Smith at the line. And he knocks down the second. So Smith 4 or 5 from the line. 12 points in the game. He, along with Gob Gabriel, leading the pack of Tigers with 12 apiece. Vitalman. They go to the foul line, now into the corner. Up and under move and the pass. Gabriel with the steal. Gabriel into the corner to Smith. Gets the ball screen from McCoy. Step back, 3-ball. Too strong. McCoy flies in for the board, and there's a foul on the floor.
I do not like that shot right there. Not with time remaining on the shot clock. And the shot I was speaking of is the original step back 3 by Smith.
They'll set the offense. Shot clock at 18. Smith. Price travels.
Yes, he did. And for those who were watching the women's game along with this men's game, you notice both these teams run a lot of the same sets as both these coaches, Coach Maddox and Coach Rice, came off of the Fred Watson coaching tree here at Benedict. Just once again, we remind everybody that Watson's going for his 400th career win with the Miles Golden Bears today.
Bank shot 3 attempt up, no good. Ball tipped into the corner and knocked out of bounds. I think the Panthers will retain the possession.
Possession Panthers.
Good job of drawing contact in the finish. Count the basket for Jalen Williams. 6 for him in the second half. 14 overall, and then that is Malachi McCoy
Watch out below.
So McCoy, third field goal for him in the second half.
30-second timeout, Tigers.
McCoy 3 of 5 from the floor.
As we take another look at this, Beidelman just finds his man, forces Douglas to commit one way or the other, and with that commitment, you shall get a facial.
So McCoy 4 of 6 to correct myself. 8 points in the contest, along with 9 rebounds, leading the team on the boards off his 6'4.5" frame. As he returns to the floor with Marshawn West, Brandon Smith, Beidelman, and King. Those are the 5 on the floor for the Tigers, who lead by 7 with 4:30 left to play. So the Panthers carving a little bit away each turn. They'll try to get one more bucket before the under 4 timeout. Between the leg dribble, now the drive. Shot is too strong, rebounded on the weak side, and a big time flush by Wyatt. And a turnover by the Tigers. Give the ball back to the Panthers. It's Coach Artis Maddox employing his team to stay focused, stay locked in. Turning the corner, kicking it in the wing. Outside, step into one. Rattles off the tip, opportunity over the top. And that would have brought the house down. Outside is Smith, in the hands of Beidelman. Coach Maddox imploring his team to step through. Smith, terrific first half, has been quiet here in the second. Drives, shot is rejected, and there's a whistle and a foul. And that'll go against G. Warren Douglas.
I think they got the media timeout situation right this time.
Yeah, we'll come back and get your thoughts, AD, on what you've seen over the last few minutes. Coming down to the final home stretch, 55-50 is our score. The Tigers out in front.
People think unusual circumstances means complicated taxes. But for a TurboTax Live expert like me, it just makes things interesting. So, give us everything you've got.
What if I'm a professional gamer with a ton of expenses?
If they help drive views, let's talk deductions.
What if I'm in a state with no income tax, but my survival videos are viewed in 38 countries?
I can help. And if this is a business dinner, save those jerky receipts. An interesting life can mean an even greater refund. You do your thing. We've got your taxes. Intuit TurboTax Live.
Verizon just gave us all a brand new iPhone 13.
We've been customers for years. I thought new phones were for new customers. We got iPhone 13s too, switched to Verizon 2 minutes ago.
Ours were busted, and we still got a shiny new one.
Check it out. So wait, everybody gets the same great deal.
I think that's the point.
iPhone 13 on us. For every customer. Current, new, everyone. On any unlimited plan, starting at just $35. All on the network more people rely on.
It's like a loot machine. All around town, trying to get down.
When you work in IT...
All right, we're back in live inside the Benjamin E. Mays HRC. AD Drew, Charles McNeil with the call. AD, before the break, I asked you your thoughts as to what you saw in that last transition when we went from the under 8 timeout. The Benedict Tigers had a 52-44 lead, and now that lead has dwindled down to 5.
Remember those spurts that we talked about? Looks like this has come to pass. This has been a game of runs. One team jumps out while the other team cannot get anything done offensively. And then that team goes cold and you get an answer. A couple things to look for coming down the stretch, and that would be the foul situation. Demetrius Hudson has 4 personal fouls for Clark Atlanta, and Dontavius King has 4 for Benedict. Both teams are currently in the 1-1 situation right now, so it's gonna be tough coming down the stretch.
Sideline out of bounds, and Coach Jordan does not believe it.
I don't know why. That was an easy call.
You're shooting in this contest, 21 of 48 from the floor for Clark Atlanta. 43.8% from long range. They're 3 of 12, 25%. Free throw shooting, 62.5%. As for Benedict, they're shooting 66.7% from the line on 8 of 12 shooting, 7 of 24 from long range. That's 29.2%. And 20 of 53 overall, 37.7%. So stifling defense on the part of the Panthers have kept them under 40% shooting from the field, and their plus 40% shooting has given them an opportunity to come back in this contest as they trail by 7, as Smith just barely missed that one on the jump hook. Inside move, ball deflected away, and Tigers were ready to bust out with King and Beitelman, but in the backcourt there was a whistle and a foul by the trailing official.
I don't know if you remember this conversation we had earlier, but remember I said you want to shoot closer to 50% and hold the team under 30%. Well, for Clark Atlanta, they've got the under 30% down, holding Benedict down to 37%, but they're at 43.8 for 44%. It's a decent percentage. So just something to keep in mind. What Benedict is making up for the difference is at the free throw line, like you said. So Clark, once again, cutting into this lead. If they can continue to knock down their free throws and hit a key 3 here and there, maybe another walk down for Benedict. We hope not, though.
1 of 2 free throws made. Smith bumped not once but twice, no whistle. Beitelman up top as he'll back it out as Coach Artis Maddox pulls at his sweatshirt, calling out the play. Brings it to the top. McCoy back on the floor, as is Gob Gabriel. Gabriel with the bounce pass over. Smith with the wide open look. Front iron no good. King with the huge rebound. Lays it up no good. Tipped up and down by Malachi McCoy.
Just got to keep that brother off the boards. Malachi McCoy, as I believe that is his 10th rebound of the day.
And go along with his 10th point as well. Malachi McCoy getting it done. McCoy with 10 points on 5 of 7 shooting from the field. And he's the leading scorer for their team, so that's much needed. As that extends the lead out to 8 as we have a foul down the other end.
So Double M has a double-double. Is that what we're saying here?
AD, say that again?
I said Double M has a double-double. I just want to make sure I got that correct.
Yes, indeed. That's what you call the slip and slide collabo.
There you go. That's the first free throw is good for White.
Jalen Williams.
Williams.
A pair of free throws there. 6-point game. 2 possessions. 90 seconds remaining. Hold on to your seats. Exciting finish inside the Benjamin E. Mays HRC as the ball thrown over the top. Underneath. King with the reverse. Just his second field goal for the sophomore out of Decatur, Dutchtown High School. And a timeout on the floor. Still an 8-point game. It's within 10 and plenty of time on the clock. 71 seconds left. We're going to keep it right here.
One thing we need to add to the list of concerns for Benedict as we come down the stretch on that previous play, the foul by Beitelman was his 4th personal foul. although Biderman has only scored 2 points in this particular ball game. He has 4 rebounds and is the leader in assists with 5 assists for Benedict. So without your key ball handler on the floor, and should he foul out, it could change the complexion of this game coming down the stretch.
Paint points is so important in a game like this, and these two teams have pretty much mirrored one another. 28 paint points for CAU, 26 in the game for Benedict. Same thing with bench points, not what we've seen out of Benedict here of late. I mentioned the last 2 games we've done, and I think the other 2 games this week we've done here have resulted in 50-plus point scoring for Benedict's bench, but in this one, just 21 points following that last time out. Missed shot there was huge. 8-point game. Now Bidelman doesn't need to get a basket. They need to use clock. King lost control of the basketball, will go up anyway, misfires, kept alive to McCoy, and that may do it.
1 o'clock. You're going to have to start the fouling game. You got time if you get a defensive stop. You don't want to foul now. Too much time is going off the shot clock.
Vitalman.
Got to get a stop.
McCoy gets into the corner. Underneath. King goes up strong and powers it home.
Do you hear her? She's warming up in the back.
Dontavius King, all of his points have been scored in the second half. There's a floater, no good. Rebounded by King, and that will do it. So Benedict coming into this one in much need of a victory, and they will get it against their SIAC East rivals, Clark Atlanta. The final score of this one, 64-53 in favor of the Tigers. So 2 wins out of 3 contests this week is exactly what you want if you're Artis Maddox. He'll join us in just a few moments. We'll get a chance to hear from the head coach of the men's program here at Benedict after their 11-point victory. To get your final thoughts, AD, before we head to a break.
Final thoughts. One thing that I noticed, and this is one of those little things where you've got to really be a stat nerd to understand what I'm about to say right here. Clark Atlanta. You had even turnover between these 2 teams. Clark Atlanta had 18, Benedict had 17. Here's the difference. Those 18 turnovers for Clark led to 11 steals for Benedict, which led to 11 fast break points. Let's flip that over. Benedict, 17 turnovers, only 3 steals for Clark Atlanta, only 5 fast break points. Why do I bring that up? Because a turnover and a steal is what we call live ball turnovers, which leads to fast break opportunities, henceforth those 11 points by Benedict, versus throwing the ball out of bounds or a travel call. You don't get the opportunity to get out in transition. That looks like to be the key difference in this game, as Benedict won this game by 10 points there, Charles.
63-53, your final score. AD, pleasure working with you for this doubleheader. And we're going to take a break, and when we come back, should hear from Artis Maddox with his thoughts and see some highlights from this one. This is Black College basketball from the SIAC, and you're watching it on the Black College Sports Network and HBCU League Pass Plus.
When you work in IT, complaints are part of the job.
Bill says the coffee's weak today.
But since CDW helped us switch to Mac, everyone's happier. Dan from finance likes getting performance without a big price tag. Phoebe digs the power of the Apple M1 chip. Mac is easy to manage, compatible with all our apps, and came pre-configured by CDW. Now we're even getting compliments.
That was Bill again, says he loves his new Mac. He's right about the coffee.
Hey, babe, meet us at the bottom of the trail.
Oh, man. Hey.
Open up. The redesigned Chevy Silverado with a sophisticated high-tech interior.
Open the door.
It's easy to forget it's a truck.
Thanks.
Nice truck.
It was.
Find new style. Find new roads. Chevrolet.
It's like a loot machine. All around town, trying to get down.
At HBCUs, there's no limit to who we can be. Black and inspired and thriving. Black and magnetic and sing. From the classrooms to the quad, our passion is our purpose. We are leaders and legacy. So when you look at what we accomplish next, you'll know where it started. For who you are and who you want to be, we're here.
I'm a millionaire. I'm not a millionaire. I'm a millionaire. I'm not a millionaire.
Crypto is complicated, but as a tax expert with crypto experience, you can hand your taxes off to me. You do your thing, we've got your taxes. Intuit, TurboTax Live.
Pizza Hut stuffed crust is the crust that made crust good. Topped and stuffed with over a half-pound of cheese. What are you so afraid of? Loving it? Original stuffed crust, just $12.99. Only from Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
It's like a loot machine.
People think unusual circumstances means complicated taxes. But for a TurboTax Live expert like me, it just makes things interesting. So, give us everything you've got.
What if I'm a professional gamer with a ton of expenses?
If they help drive views, let's talk deductions.
What if I'm in a state with no income tax, but my survival videos are viewed in 38 countries?
I can help. And if this is a business dinner, save those jerky receipts. An interesting life can mean an even greater refund. You do your thing. We've got your taxes. Intuit TurboTax Live.
Verizon just gave us all a brand new iPhone 13.
We've been customers for years. I thought new phones were for new customers. We got iPhone 13s too, switched to Verizon 2 minutes ago.
Ours were busted, and we still got a shiny new one.
Check it out. So wait, everybody gets the same great deal?
I think that's the point.
iPhone 13 on us for every customer. Current, new, everyone. On any unlimited plan, starting at just $35. All on the network more people rely on.
It's like a loot machine. All around town, trying to get down.
When you work in IT, complain.
It's the Game Time Postgame show inside of the SIAC home of Benedict College, the Tigers, Benjamin E. Mays, HRC. Happy to have you guys with us. It's the postgame festivities just underway as Benedict on the men's side victorious in the final game of our twin bill, picking up win number 6 of the season thanks to a 63-53 victory. They put an end to their one-game losing streak as well. Of course, they had a difficult time against Tuskegee, one of the top teams in the league, and a squad that had put a thorn in their side by virtue of a couple of comebacks, down by double digits in the first half and the second half on Wednesday. They were able to bounce back and get out on front, as you see some of the highlights from the first half as well. And the jump shot went up no good.
Coach over there talking about the big headphones.
From the perimeter, shot attempt no good. As we bring in Coach, get a chance to see some of the replays from this one, Coach, and welcome in. Congratulations on the victory.
Oh, man, thank you. Thank you. Feel good to get back in the win column. It wasn't pretty, but we found a way to get it done.
Yeah, no question about it. And again, this team, you could underestimate them if you wanted to, but the players seem like they focused, especially coming out of the locker room.
Yes, I told the guys Clark Atlanta is a good ball team. You can't look at their record and just think that they're not good. They're a good basketball team. They have good players. But we have good players as well, and we were just able to finish today.
Yeah, I like the way that you had them going through your walkthrough, your shoot-around earlier in the day. You kind of highlighted several players that they needed to key in on, and you guys were able to execute not only in the first half, but in the second half defensively. You finished up the game. They shot the ball well in the first half, kind of balanced both halves, 42% in the first half, 41.7% in the second half. But what we did see out of your squad was getting points off turnovers.
Yes. Then, when we put pressure on the ball, we can get out and run. But Jalen Williams and Warren Douglas, those were the two guys that I told my guys about. I know 20 Douglas, he come off the bench, but he's a heck of a player. He can really play basketball.
He's active.
And yes, very active, very athletic, and he's like a Swiss Army knife. He can do some of everything. So, but hats off to that coach at Clark Atlanta. He got a good ball club. Their record don't show how good they really are. They're a good ball club, real good ball club. I'm just happy we were able to come out with the victory.
Yeah, coming off the loss to Kentucky State, they fell by 10 once again. You guys, on the other hand, you had the benefit of coming through from your loss. What do you think was the attributing factor, or what was the mood? We talked about the mood in the locker room after the last game, the loss to Tuskegee, and you bounced back. You knew that one was one you wanted to get, and you had to make sure you made the statement here today.
It was the mood after the Tuskegee game was like it was another one where we were up big, up double digits, and gave away a lead. And we almost did that again today, but we found, like I said, we found a way to close the game. We just got to shore up a few things offensively and defensively, so we're not putting ourselves in those positions to where we're up big and now we let them back in the game. We got to put teams away. And what I mean by put teams away, we got to keep extending the lead. So we just got to keep working on it.
Yeah, between the tie at the beginning of the game and the completion of the game, we had an 18-point lead, the largest of the game, at the 15:38 mark of the second half. Best scoring run was an 11-6 run, 11 for us, 6 for them. And then time with the lead, 37.30 seconds. That is virtual shutout material as you guys handled the business throughout that, Coach. And then, we didn't see as many bench points, but you shuffled your lineup to start the game to get some more offensive flow, I would assume, at the start.
Yes, I was trying to get a quick start offensively. That's why I shuffled the lineup, put a different lineup in with Malachi and I think Brandon Smith, and I still had Asante, Dontavius, Calvin, Marshawn coming off the bench to give us that punch. So, but that was the game plan. We executed it to the best of our ability. It wasn't perfect, but I'll take the win.
And again, a short rest before you get right back into action again, as you guys will be wrapping up this 4-game homestand against Morehouse, the mighty men of Morehouse.
Yes, Morehouse is a big athletic club. They always give us fits. I haven't watched any film on them yet, but we'll prepare for them tomorrow at 2 o'clock. We got practice tomorrow from 2 to 4. Come in the gym, go work hard, get better, and hopefully we can get this win Monday.
Final thing I have for you, Coach. I know you had to be excited to see the student body back and providing that sixth man for your team.
Yes, it's good. This is the first game since November 15th where we had our fans in our gym. So it's been almost 2 months, seemed like a little over 2 months. But, yeah, having that home crowd, guys getting excited. Can't wait to get the band in here Monday. We're really going to have this place packed, have an electric crowd so we can go up against Morehouse.
This was the 38th meeting between Benedict and Clark Atlanta, and it comes away with another win for the Tigers, the 26th time in 38 meetings, the 17th time here at the Benjamin E. Mays HRC, and the 25th time in conference games. So, Coach, congratulations on another huge win, and we'll look forward to seeing you again on Monday.
Hey, man, thank y'all so much again. Thank you guys for coming out here covering our basketball games. We really appreciate it.
That's Artis Maddox in his 5th season. Fantastic effort. His team got a W, so you know where you need to be on Monday, right here on the BCSN and SIAC. Watch the action on HBCU League Pass Plus, where it all happens each and every day. College basketball coming your way, and this is definitely the place to be. So for Artis Maddox, for the entire athletic program here at Benedict College, and for our hardworking men and women on the staff, as well as A.D. Drew, my broadcast partner for this doubleheader, I'm Charles McNeil, saying good afternoon